other people I know, because I'm part of this industry, who are always talking about it didn't start in the 80s, it started in the 70s. Hi, I'm Bobby Friction, and I am so excited. I didn't realise I was going to be allowed to just look around the Royal Albert Hall archives. All of these little boxes here, I don't know if you can see them, but each box responds to a day or a month in a year, and this all goes back to the 1800s, and it's full of all the programs. But I'm here to discover some stuff that I've got a personal connection to. I love this. The 1987 DJ convention at the Royal Albert Hall. Wow, day one at the Hippodrome, the famous Hippodrome in London. Day two here at the Royal Albert Hall, March the 9th, 1987. So for someone like me, look, I'm a DJ. I didn't actually start DJing until the 90s, but I was literally bang on in terms of the timeline to be obsessed with this stuff in the mid 80s. And what you've also got to remember is this was still very much on the fringes, very much alternative. You may have read a tiny bit about DJ culture in things like The Enemy, but that was kind of it. There were a few specialist publications around, which I used to buy. I can't remember the name of the publication, but it was published, and the editor was Morgan Khan, who also ran the Street Sounds record label. And Street Sounds, as the name suggests, was essentially a magazine for this new emerging hip hop culture and turntablism, DJing, scratching. You know, this one of the main elements of hip hop. I was, you know, on the fringes of this fringe scene, but always reading about it. And every now and again on the 4 channels that we had, you'd actually see a clip of the World DMC Championships, and you know, your mind will get blown because you'd see these guys scratching, going between 2 decks, scratching with their elbows, you know, some of them even scratching with their foreheads. So once again, I think a real win for a real underground scene. And I'm actually quite shocked that the 1987 convention, because, you know, scratching and DJ skills via hip hop would only have emerged about 5 or 6 years before. For them to get into the Royal Albert Hall in 1987, I think is a real win. And you've actually got the lineup here. 10:25 p.m. It says surprise PA. We want to keep at least one surprise for you. People who were there will know that surprise was Janet Jackson. So this, once again, would have been just as she was emerging. Her album Control, I think, would have been the album, her debut album, produced by Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis, that came out around this time. And even though she was Michael Jackson's sister, she was not, at that time, seen as firmly in the mainstream. She was coming in out of left with a real fresh black American sound. God, this is amazing. Oh, wow. Sorry, there's just adverts, prizes. First prize, the Technics custom-built 1987 World Championships console, 2 Technics SL 1200 turntables, now probably exchanging hands for thousands of pounds. They really are. No internet back in the day, no ability to go, I wonder if, and then pulling out a phone. So a list essentially of the culture in quotation marks, different record stores, hotels, nightclubs, record companies, and then in case you needed to go out there and make your fortune, a map of central London with every record label and every record store that you need to know. I'm blown away that the Royal Albert Hall got in there this early. We all think the Royal Albert Hall is the British establishment, but they seem to be working, or they used to be working counter-intuitively to that. And I think that's a real beautiful thing to find out today. You've got to remember the first generation that came over of South Asians, they were born in India, Pakistan, Bangladesh, Sri Lanka, and they came over, and then we were born here in the UK. For a while, we identified ourselves as the second generation. We wanted to fuse things together. You know, this is the beginning of fusion. All that stuff really started in the 80s. You know, the Bhangra gigs, the daytimers, the bands, they all emerged in the 80s with some roots in the 70s. Then I see this and I'm like, what the hell is going on? The National Association of Indian Youth, Asian Youth Festival, 1976. 1976, I was 5 years old. Look, honestly, I'm not saying there was no culture happening in the 70s. I wasn't aware of stuff like this. So first of all, whoever did their advertising was amazing. Look, sari shops, Great cinemas, great videos for your weddings. Sare's Hi-Fi, 131 King Street, 272 Edgware Road. So basically, hi-fi stores, a South Asian-owned hi-fi store. Damn, these were the originators. These people literally kick-started British Asian culture. The Brighton Asian Circle from Brighton with a Gujarati Garba dance. Maya Arts from Loughborough with 2 outstanding classical compositions. The Bumrah Brothers from Southall. Taranga Group. Oh, okay. Punjabi folk dancers. I know about the Taranga Group. I didn't experience them, but from other people I know, because I'm part of this industry, who are always talking about, it didn't start in the 80s, it started in the 70s. This really feels like an important part of South Asian musical and cultural history here in London. Wow, a panel of judges and then some Indian jewelry adverts. Mind-blowing, seriously, mind-blowing, and for me, a real find today. I didn't realise this had happened. I remember the centenary of the Sikh religion, the Khalsa Panth. It happened in 1999. I think every Sikh across the planet remembers it. We definitely remember it here in Britain. As a non-practicing Sikh, even back then, I still went to the Sikh temple to celebrate it, because I just think it's different, you know, when you have a very young religion, but that religion's kind of, even though the religion was founded 500 years ago, but the actual Khalsa Panth, the formalisation of Sikhism as a religion happened in 1699. So we all remember, if you're Sikh, where we were in 1999 to celebrate this. Once again, had no idea the Royal Albert Hall was in the middle of these celebrations. So this is a very thick programme from 1999. Royal Albert Hall, 25th of April, 1999. The centenary of the Khalsa Panth, which is the formalisation of Sikhism as a full-on religion with all the things that you now relate to Sikhism, the 5Ks and all of that stuff. And it says the celebration. It's very much moving for me as a Sikh, but also very much an emblem of its time politically, because you've got this introduction from the Prime Minister, Mr. Tony Blair. And then if you look at the programme, amongst all the kirtans and different Sikh songs, oh my God, Malkeet Singh was there as well. Gutka display, which is Sikh martial arts. You actually have greetings from the Home Secretary, Right Honourable Jack Straw MP, the Right Honourable William Hague, who was the leader of the Conservatives, the leader of the opposition at the time, a play by the children of Guru Nanak Sikh College in Hayes. I mean, oh, how could I miss this? Wow. So basically an address from His Royal Highness, the Prince of Wales, obviously now the King of the United Kingdom. I think it's very beautiful that this happened. I wasn't aware of it. I think most Sikhs weren't aware of it. We were doing our own thing to celebrate. To me, the Royal Albert Hall is emblematic of the establishment, but also working against the establishment. Against is the wrong word. Like, it's almost like Schrodinger's cat, you know? There's 2 Royal Albert Halls. One's totally attached to royalty and the establishment, and the other is just about British art and culture, and it kind of exists in both spaces. And I just think it's really moving that such an important date for the Sikh community, the Sikh religion worldwide, was celebrated with all those members of the establishment. Really moving and really beautiful. Thanks so much for watching this with me, Bobby Friction, here at the Royal Albert Hall Archives.